Let's not talk about 5. Let's talk about 6 Vikings that we are rooting for to make this final.
Root.
Let's go, baby. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. I'm well aware of the fact that I'm wearing this tank top will probably lose 20 to 30 subscribers, but I don't care. I am who I am. We're talking 6 Minnesota Vikings that we are hoping make the final roster.
Yeah, we'll lose 20, 30 subscribers, but also there'll be 3 who'll get pregnant because you're wearing it. So there's also that to factor in.
Oh, that works.
Yes, we are here. And before we talk about these 6 players, we are rooting to make the final 53-man roster. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids, comment as well, and become a YouTube member. Why the hell not? Makes you feel good. Support the channel, get exclusive content, and also your name entered into drawing every single month for some Onebar and Lupagus swag, which will be given away early next week.
Yeah, Gary Balser was last month's winner. He is a winner in life, but now he gets to be a winner with Onebar and Lupagus threads. Ugh. And now, you know what? And also, everybody can see why I love James Lynch so much. Our skin tone is very, very similar. But let's talk 6 Vikings that we hope make the final roster. Comments. Let's see some guys that you want, and obviously these are guys that are very at the bottom. I mean, these are surprise guys. These are guys we're just rooting for. Underdogs. That's what I should say. Underdogs. We want.
They might not even. And these aren't even bubble players. These are all underdogs.
And we might be 0 for 6. You don't know.
We might be. A strong chance that we are.
All right, let's start off with the easy one. The guy we interviewed, the guy that we love, wide receiver Thayer Thomas. And you know what? Even if we didn't interview this guy, I'd still be rooting for him. He does it all. He's tough. He goes across the middle. The fact that our wide receiver depth chart at the bottom of it is just murkier than your urine on a Saturday morning. He brings it all, and I love that he's gritty, and I love that he can take a big old hit across the middle, and he returns punts.
What I'm certain finding about Thayer Thomas is that he's pretty damn good. I mean, you look at these highlights of the way he runs his routes, how shifty he is off the line, the little shimmies he does. He's so quick in and out of his breaks. He's already getting time with the twos. Yes, there were some receivers out in the mini camps, the OTAs, but the fact that undrafted kids playing with the twos and he's making plays and he's already becoming one of Nick Mullins, who's a backup quarterback, favorite targets. That speaks volumes for this guy. And you mentioned it, this bottom of this receiver depth chart. I mean, are we going to keep 5 or 6? He's got a serious shot to get one of those spots, and I'm rooting for him because I think he's got the potential to be a very good player in this league. Whether it's, as a late, depth chart wide receiver or a punt returner, this guy's got some potential.
And quarterbacks love these types of guys. He's not going to get alligator arms going across the middle. He's going to take that big old blow, catch the ball. And they love these types of guys. And yeah, Thayer Thomas, let's go. I can't wait to see him in preseason games.
And the fact we interviewed him, it just makes it's just icing on top of the cake.
Yeah, if once we get past like those 4 receivers, maybe 5, like I think we'll end up keeping 6. Thayer Thomas is my number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Just dripping with upside.
All right, let's go to a non-rookie here. Let's go to Juwan Williams, the Vikings free agent signing, former second-round pick from the Patriots. Started 1 game there, and what I love about him is, I love bringing in guys that just didn't pan out at their first stint. Lupagus and I both love that, but his size, 6'3", 212, hot shit. Come on, I want him to come in with a big old chip on his shoulder, big old Cool Ranch Dorito right on his shoulder.
Well, and sometimes a player needs just a change of scenery. It doesn't work out in the first spot for whatever reason. Maybe you're hurt. Maybe the system doesn't fit you. Maybe you don't, really gel with your coaches. And a change of scenery brings out the best in somebody. And you hope this is the case with Juwan Williams. You mentioned the size, and that's what I love about him. 6'3", 200-something pounds, big physical corner. We don't have a lot of big corners on this roster, on this depth chart. If he can pan out, if he can become the second-round pick that everybody thought he was going to be coming out of college, Vikings got a steal here, and I'm rooting for him, and I hope he does, because having that corner who can match up with big receivers. There's a lot of big receivers the Vikings will be facing every single week. Get Juwan Williams out there. Man, I hope he makes it. I really do.
Well, and the best part about him is, we got a ton of rookies, a ton of second-year guys. Yep. I mean, it's not like he's been in the league for 10 years by any means, but he's played for a pretty damn good organization. He's going to bring in a lot of veteran presence, and we need that shit. We need it. It's not like we need this guy to be a starting cornerback. We don't need him to be out there on the field a ton, but we just need him in the locker room.
Yeah, he doesn't have a pew of experience. He's got a full bush of experience on him.
Jesus, those are the worst. Let's go to another rookie. Let's go to Alan Ali, our offensive lineman.
Yeah, and here's the thing: we finally have this old line that's set from left to right. Right, we got our left tackle Christian Darrisaw, Ezra Cleveland, Garrett Bradbury, Ed Ingram, and then Brian O'Neill, Olioto until Brian O'Neill's healthy. The question now is the depth. The depth's a little bit sus. Yeah, you got Olioto
Don't say
I did.
sus.
At right tackle, you got Schlottman
sus.
in there. You got Blake Brandel. You got Vidarian Lowe. And just all those options kind of make you sick, a little uneasy. If Alan Ali can come up and just show something here in camp, make this roster, prove, because I think he can play all the interior positions, maybe even tackle. I'm trying to remember, rack my brain here,
everywhere.
but
it's everywhere.
Yeah, I think he can play everywhere. If he can just come in and be that guy, be that Swiss Army knife kind of guy who can come in a pinch and play well, just even play average, that would be huge for this O-line that is improving and is finally really set from left to right.
I'll promise never to wear another tank top again if you promise never to say sus again.
I can't. It just comes out sometimes.
It shouldn't. That's what my 9-year-old daughter says.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty hip.
No, you're not hip. She's not hip.
That tank top's hip.
High football IQ. He can play anywhere. He takes pride in whooping ass. Everything you read about his draft profiles are just like he loves just kicking somebody's ass. And you know what? We're due for an undrafted free agent offensive lineman to make his way up the depth chart. His competition isn't going to be overly crazy. They got him slated in right now as the backup left guard to Ezra Cleveland. He played center last year for TCU. So I think if he makes the team, he could actually be somewhat of a dark horse to take over for Ezra Cleveland if he does not come back next year. He's that good. I think he's one of the best undrafted free agents out there.
Yeah, and let's see how this goes. And someone will be watching day one of camp earlier. I mean, I didn't hear much from him during the mini camps and the OTAs.
Know much.
But what do they say when it comes to O-linemen? The less you hear, the better.
Yeah, Alan Ali, and he seems to be a favorite amongst a lot of Vikings fans. And even the draft gurus out there, they love this guy. So Alan Ali.
I think one of our favorite viewers, Skull TYA, has an Alan Ali butt cheek tattoo.
Yes, he does. I've seen it. I've seen it from multiple angles. We're gonna stick. We got 2 more rookies and then another second-year guy. So let's stick with the rookies. Let's go to Ivan Pace.
Yeah,
everybody's rooting for Ivan Pace. Obviously, everybody thinks that his college tactics are not going to translate to the NFL. That's his big thing, and it's valid.
Yeah, he's got short arms. He's undersized, but you love the way he plays. You love the way he plays the game with fire, with passion. He's fast. He's ferocious. He attacks the ball. You love that about him. He has some shitty workouts. He's undersized. Those are things that cost him to be undrafted. But it's not like the guy's not had. And he's had short arms all of his life. It's not like he's all of a sudden just short arms. He's got to this level with that, shortcoming, I guess you can call it that. I'm rooting for him, and I think for an undrafted rookie, there's pressure on him. I mentioned this last night in our live. I think everybody's expecting him to make the team. Everybody thought he'd be drafted somewhere on, day 3, worst case, and he went undrafted. So I think everybody thinks he's going to make the team. Everybody's got high expectations for him. So for being an undrafted guy to make this final 53, there's actually pressure on him to do that. And I think that's kind of a weird situation for him to be in.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen many college athletes have great college careers that just don't do jack shit. So I hope he's not one of them. Ivan Pace will easily be everybody's just and look at the position. I mean, it's definitely a position that we could also use a little zap,
yep.
Shake.
And he brings it. Him and Brian Asamoah are the same type of player.
There we go. Thank you. That took way too long.
I didn't know what you're doing.
Ivan Pace will be a dark horse. Let's go to Luigi Villain. Luigi Villain, the undrafted guy from last year, was on the active roster. And this guy it's all about potential, just screams potential.
Yeah, I mean, he made it as an undrafted guy last year, didn't do a whole lot year 1, which is fine. But you got DJ Wanham, who is probably going to, I don't really expect him to come back in free agency. We never know, but I think some team will probably overpay to get him and his services. So then you want to have these guys that are going to be part of your future. Luigi Villain, make the team again, and then maybe take the next step where you're actually getting part of a rotation. I mean, I think Brian Flores can mix up the personnel a lot, get the best guys out there in certain situations, and maybe Luigi Villain finds some package where he gets on the field where they're sending 10 guys, and hopefully he makes the most of that and capitalize that because he has that potential. Again, this coaching staff that's here again from last year, liked him enough to keep him. Let's see the next step now.
Well, and the big things for Luigi Villain to make this roster, I mean, Daniil Hunter, I think we all think he's going to be back. He should be back. We want him back. For some reason, he's not back. If for some reason they do actually cut DJ Wanham, which again would be a huge surprise, would open the door for a guy like Luigi Villain to at least round out the bottom of the depth chart. So, I mean, he was at Michigan, then he went to Wake Forest. So he had that one big year at Wake Forest. He had like 8 or 9 sacks. And the fact that this regime took a chance on him and he actually made the roster.
Take a chance on me. Take a chance on me.
All right, last guy, Jack Podlesny, kicker. And we all know, what we got in Greg Joseph. Jack Podlesny would just be my thought is I'm just game for anything new.
That's it. Yeah, no, and that's the positive. That's the silver lining here. That's the old that's the bait you were biting on. Something different. You're hoping for something different. Just what Greg Joseph is. You're gonna hold your breath every time there's an extra point. And yeah, those extra points matter. Not always, but they can be momentum killers. I mean,
yeah, they matter.
You talk about putting the team away. When you miss that kick, when you drive down the field, you score in 7 plays and you miss the extra point, it takes away that scoring drive and it starts to put momentum back to their team. And that happened way too often last year where momentum swinging, where the Vikings should just be on that snowball where, you score 14 points, you put the team away, but then you miss those extra points. And you're like, okay, now we still have a chance. We're still in this thing. You can't have that. So Podlesny, the fact that he's still here, that he's going to go to training camp with the Vikings, you look at Gabe Burkitt last year, he was cut like after the first mini camp. Podlesny's still there, so he's got a chance, and this is going to be a competition in camp now.
Yeah, and Greg Joseph, the shitty part is I have no problem when he lines up for a field goal.
Yeah,
it's the extra points. If he missed half of what he missed last year, I would be on. I've been on Greg Joseph's train for since he got here. Loved him, but that was embarrassing. That was an embarrassing season last year when it came to extra points. Jack Podlesny, again, it's more so that he's just new, a new face. Bring him in. He played for a very good team with Georgia. He's been on very important games. OTAs, I mean, he's stuck with Greg Joseph just fine. I mean, I know you got issues with his leg. He made 55 yarders in practice. I mean, what else more do you ask for with a leg in the NFL? So I got no issues. May the best man win, but I want him to win.
Yeah, and it's weird too because if the Vikings do go with Podlesny, then you're going to be in a season where this might be the Vikings' last hurrah to really compete for a couple years because after this they may go for more of a complete rebuild. You really want a rookie kicker in that situation, being the guy. I don't know, and that's the question. Does it matter? I don't know, and that's the thing you keep coming back to. It's like this catch-22, rookie or this guy that you don't rely on. But does it really matter when it comes to Vikings kicker? Any Vikings kicker will always be holding their breath.
And Greg Joseph ranked at the bottom for field goal percentage and extra point percentage. So no, it does not matter. Like, bring him on. If it's not Jack Podlesny, bring in another free agent. Just anybody but Gregory.
Yeah, I think we're all ready to move on from Greg. I was shocked when the Vikings re-signed him.
We'll see what happens. Those are our 6 guys. Let us know in the comments a guy that you were hoping, an underdog guy, you're hoping makes the final 53.
I said I was shocked when they re-signed him. Very good. Very good. All right. Thinking about Jack Podlesny and Greg Joseph. Remember this. A group of tigers is called a streak.